Hey everybody, it's me, Stock Picks by Tim, and in this video I wanted to talk about a stock I haven't really talked about in quite a while, and that's going to be Palantir PLTR, if the thumbnail didn't give it away already. Now in this one we're going to look at some recent news, I'm going to go over earnings, some expectations, and we're also going to look over the chart. Now let's get right into this Palantir video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, check out the links below, check out the Discord, and let's get it. Now first off, I wanted to highlight this article. There's some recent news that literally just dropped, and I will leave you a link down below if you want to read the whole thing. Now this was yesterday as of this upload. It was just announced Palantir is going to help drive operational experience at Hertz and enhance the customer experience using real-time data-driven insights. So this is an attempt by Hertz to modernize its technology and go more towards a digital-first customer experience. Now Hertz is using the Palantir Foundry OS operating system to create a platform that helps the company more efficiently manage and operate its fleet of nearly 500,000 vehicles. And this includes tens of thousands of EVs. Now the platform will provide vehicle availability insights based on rental status, service orders, location, registration data. So it's very interesting that they're using Palantir to just kind of consolidate all of their data, make it more simple, make it easier to read, and also easier to act on, more efficiency. And as said by the COO of Palantir, we are beyond excited to work alongside Hertz to make the most of their sizable fleet and once again show the impact of combining data and operations to influence key business objectives. And they go on to say that Hertz has shown their continued commitment to being an innovator in the market, including their industry-leading focus on electric mobility, and we're proud to help them along their path to digital transformation. Now, how do you guys feel about this recent news? I think it's definitely good to see more and more companies adopting Palantir's product, and hey, Hertz isn't a government entity, so there's more money from a commercial standpoint, not from just government, and I think that is a good thing for Palantir. Now, one thing I did want to bring your guys' attention is we do have earnings coming up in like just 2-3 weeks. It is actually scheduled to come out on my birthday, November 7. And one thing I want to show you here is good and one thing is bad. Now, one thing that's good is you'll see that this revenue has been consistently growing. That's fantastic to see. However, EPS went from positive to negative. According to Google here, this last quarter was a negative 1 cent EPS. And that could be one reason, besides the overall market dropping, obviously, that Wall Street doesn't really want to touch Palantir. You know, they likely love to talk about it while it was in the 20s and the 30s, and now it's like they don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. So I do think this next earnings is going to be absolutely important to watch. We definitely want to see that EPS flip to positive, and we want to see that revenue continuing to grow consistently. Now, they do have a forecast of a negative 3 to 4 EPS, so a beat of that, specifically anything positive, would be absolutely fantastic to see. And looking at some stats on Yahoo, you'll see that that price to sales is now under 10, which to some companies you would see that as a very high amount, but with Palantir, which continues to see huge revenue growth, I would let it slide. I think that's a pretty okay price to sales, especially compared to where it's been trading at previously. But to be fair, every company's price to sales now is likely much lower than they have been at previously. And one thing that absolutely looks fantastic, that's going to be their balance sheet. Now, they have almost $2.5 billion in cash, and they only have about $256 million in debt. So even if they don't have profitable quarters, a few of those, they have plenty of cash to cover that cash burn in the meantime until they flip back to profitability, which I do think they will. So Palantir does have some recent great partnerships that are going to help them out and continue to ensure that that revenue keeps increasing. And looking at their balance sheet, definitely looks solid. They have a quite larger amount of cash than debt, and that's always good to see. Now, next up, let's look at the chart. I got a couple things for you to look out for. I personally do think we could be in an accumulation zone, potentially getting out of that stage 4 downtrend and getting into that stage 1 accumulation stage. And this is another stock that actually has not broken its May 11 lows. A couple others come to mind like ChargePoint, Indie, even BNGO, Bionanogenomics, and that's a good thing to see that this hasn't broken its lows. There are other stocks that have done that, like Astra, like CleanSpark, and to see that Palantir is holding relatively strong, just a lot of sideways action for the most part, makes me relatively certain that this is just an accumulation phase. It's been trading essentially pretty sideways ever since May. It's been essentially stuck in this range from 6 to 11. And for a volatile stock like Palantir, that really isn't all that much range. And zooming into just October, you'll see that we are in this kind of a widening pattern. We may find resistance right here around 850 area and then start pulling back and create a new recent low. But we still wouldn't be under that May 11 low, which is a great thing to see. Now, if you wanted to wait for this to flip to bullish, you'd want to see this 200 MA start curling to the upside and us starting to breach it. It is still pointing downwards, but as we continue sideways, if we don't fall to new lower levels, that 200 MA is going to start standing pretty still and even, dare I say, start slowly uptrending. And one last thing I wanted to show you guys before I go is this one has a descending resistance. We did hit it twice so far, and this is going back to their peak of January 2021. Since there, we just haven't been able to break this white line here, and we are attempting to break out of it now. So keep an eye on this descending resistance. We may get a flip out of that, and we may in fact be starting our uptrend at some point soon. It's definitely going to depend a lot on their earnings, of course, a lot on the overall market. Is the Fed going to continue to raise rates? I do think for the foreseeable future, next couple of months, we will get some rate increases, but I do think they're going to come down from 75 basis points to somewhere around 25 to 50 once we do see that CPI coming in with lower inflation. We aren't there yet, but at that point, you better believe Palantir is going to absolutely skyrocket once we have signs of the Fed letting off a bit, and once we have clear signs that the stock market is on a recovery mode. Now, it could be months until we get there, and we could of course flirt with our May 11 lows before that point. However, I must say Palantir at this current price is getting very, very damn attractive, especially considering that, you know, they still have that consistent revenue growth. Yes, their EPS flipped to negative, but I do think it's a matter of time till it flips back and we see those profitable quarters again. But let me know how you guys feel about Palantir down below. Always curious about your opinion. Thanks as always, guys, and take it easy.